Okay, a very good afternoon, gentlemen. Welcome to the final Innovation Thursday for the month of September. Today is September 30th, and this is, of course, Innovation Thursday. Data analytics are brought to you by IMDA's Open Innovation Platform team, or as we like to call ourselves, the OIP team. All right. So my name is Billy, and I'm the MC for today. I'm also happen to be from the OIP team, so we're all here today to bring you this very interesting webinar. Today's webinar features problem owners looking for solutions for a wide range of real-world challenges, right? That requires solutions that delve into the realm of data analytics, all right? So today's challenges range from something as complex as developing a digital navigator for a wide audience, right, of users, right? All the way to even lucky, more complex problems like how do you beef up a suite of data empowerment solutions? All right, so we're going to dive into that in just a very short while. But before we begin, I'd like to remind everyone that if you have questions, right, we have the right channel for you. Right? Look at the Zoom software. You have the Q&A tool. So once again, we're going to use the Zoom Q&A tool to take your questions. So if you have questions for specific speakers as well as companies, right, make sure you address your questions for them, and we'll make sure that every speaker will, yes, I heard somebody call my name. Did I win a lucky draw prize? Oh wait, that's supposed to be a surprise for you guys. I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm going to carry on. So basically, if you have any questions for our speakers, we'll let them answer it at the end of their sessions, right? So after every presentation, there'll be a slot for Q&A for every speaker, okay? So if you have questions for speakers, for their companies, right, for their business challenges, fill in your questions in the Q&A box within Zoom. We'll try our very best to answer all the questions. But just in case we can't answer today, right, don't worry. You can write into our very popular email channel. It's called info@openinnovation.sg. I'll get my lovely colleagues to key into the chat group so you know it. So if you have questions that are not answered today, right, feel free to write into info@openinnovation.sg and we'll direct them to the right speakers to answer, okay? So once again, thank you very much. And for the benefit of our new solvers who are joining us today, right, there are quite a few of you in the audience who are quite new. Well, just allow me to actually run through quickly what OIP is all about, okay? So I'm going to do this very magic trick of sharing the screen. And as you know, this kind of things can be very affected by Murphy's law. So I'm going to be okay. Can everybody see my screen right now? I'm assuming everybody can. I'm gonna wait for my colleagues to signal me. Yes, you guys can see, right? Okay, basically, welcome to OIP. We are a structured innovation process where we bring together a group of problem owners with real world business challenges, right? And we bring them and we facilitate them to match with tech solvers in our community, right, who have the necessary expertise and experience to come up with innovative solutions to their real-world business challenges. And I say it's a structured process because we do facilitate, we do provide, resources such as we bring in consultants to help you refine your problems. We bring in consultants to help you refine your submissions. We bring in consultants to advise you on your solutions, on the UI aspect, on the design thinking aspects, and so on. So basically, this is a very structured crowdsourcing process where we try to look for the best innovative solutions, right, to problems that are so challenging. There are no off-the-shelf solutions that you can just come by. Therefore, you need OIP to help you come with something new and innovative. Okay, I'd just like to share a bit more about our website. We are located at www.openinnovation.sg. So basically, the whole of today, right, you'll just hear me sell the code. I'll keep telling you about our portal, which is www.openinnovation.sg. This is where all the cool info you want about, the Open Innovation platform. Whether you are a problem solver or a problem owner, right, we have all the information for you. But allow me to just spend a couple of minutes just showing you the portal. Once again, it's at www.openinnovation.sg. As you can see, we have a quick description of OIP and how it works. And don't worry if I'm going too fast because you have all the time in the world to visit, of course, our portal at www.openinnovation.sg. So this will be the answer to the quiz question I'm going to ask later. So please bear in mind, right, if you guys want to win a great prize, I have a free coffee up for grabs, okay? I'm just kidding, guys. Yeah, there's no free coffee, only for myself, yeah. Okay, I just want to tell you guys a bit about OIP. We were first set up in the year 2018, and it's been quite a roller coaster ride so far. It's been quite an incredible journey together with many problem owners as well as problem solvers or tech solvers. And I just wanted to share a bit about, okay, allow me to tell a bit of Koyo, okay? So over the past 3 years, right, we have hosted a grand total of 233 challenges and counting, right, on the OIP. We have offered over $7.7 million worth of prize money, right, across all the challenges. Okay, and for call 11 itself, for innovation call 11 itself, right, the most current call, right, our price money so far is 560K, right? $560,000 worth of cash monies to be won, right? If you win all challenges, okay? And so far, we have kickstarted a grand total of 91 projects, right? We have kickstarted a total of 91 projects over the last 3 years, right? In terms of, solvers and problem owners coming together to come up with prototypes and projects, okay? And today, our OIP community has a strength of over 11,000 members. So if you join OIP, right, rest assured you have access to the best of the tech solvers in Singapore, right? In Singapore tech community. They are almost all of them, I guarantee you, are in our community, right? Right now we have over 11,000 and growing. So if you want to join us, simply sign up at www.openinnovation.sg. Okay, so I believe that's about all I need to share about OIP. You can find out more for yourself at our portal, which is at www.openinnovation.sg. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing right now and just gonna move on back to telling about you today. Okay, maybe we have the slide for today, please, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I'm talking to my team right now. Okay, guys, today we're very honored to have with us a couple of our problem solvers, right? Sorry, our problem owners. My apologies there. I'm too excited for today's content. Okay, just like to tell you guys, today we have with us CPF board. We have our friends from Windock Singapore. We have our friends from the Smart Local, and also we have our friends from CASE, the Consumers Association of Singapore. All right, and we also have a special item coming just right after me. This is a special sharing by one of our most prominent or more prominent tech solver. It's called GroundUp.ai, and this company is very interesting because they have won multiple challenges on OIP. Okay, so we're gonna get them to share the secrets of success just right after this. Okay, one important deadline I must tell you, if not my boss will scold me. Okay? The deadline for OIP Innovation Call 11. Do you know when it is? All right, I'm just gonna tell you guys right now. The deadline for OIP Innovation Call 11 is 29th of October 2021. So you have, if you look at the watch right now, the date right now, you have just about a month, right, to finalize your presentation, right, and to basically to finalize your submission and then to submit in time for all the business challenges on OIP Call 11. All right, Innovation Call 11, we're waiting for your submissions. Please submit by 29 October 2021. If you want to be more specific, the deadline will be 4 p.m. on Friday, 29 October 2021. So please do not submit at 4:01, okay? The system automatically cut off. So please submit all your submissions for all the business challenges on OIP Innovation Call 11 by Friday, 29 October 2021 at 4 p.m. And okay, for regular updates on OIP, right, we do have social media channels courtesy of Pixel, which is IMD's Innovation Hub. So I'm just going to flash, okay, I'm not flash, okay, I'm going to share the URLs of the Pixel social media channels on the chat group. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, I got to juggle all these little screens and all that, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge. Okay. Everyone, please let me know if you can't see this. Okay, I'm going to show you the Facebook page for Pixel is at here. And I'm going to show you the Pixel LinkedIn. And just give me a second. It's a bit of a cutting and pasting, which I don't have a diploma in cutting and pasting, so it's going to take me quite a while to do this. Okay, the reason why I'm sharing with you guys is because we do post a lot of updates on OIP on these two channels, because Pixel and the OIP teams, we are just like brothers and sisters. We work very closely together. So Pixel is IMD's Innovation Hub and OIP is IMD's Open Innovation Platform. So of course, we work together very well, very naturally. So if you would like to check for updates on OIP announcements and so on, do go to these two channels on Facebook as well as on LinkedIn. I have shared the URLs in the chat group, so you can just click on it and to see our pages, all right? So basically, if you want any more updates about OIP, do visit the Pixel social media pages. I'm so excited, I keep mixing up my words, challenges and all that, because there's a lot of challenge going on today, okay? So we talk about it later. All right, right now, I'm gonna move on to a bit of thank you. So basically, before we start today's exciting program, a big thank you to our problem owners who have taken the time and effort to share today and to take your burning questions, right? And also to our community of tech solvers who have been with us through every Innovation Thursday, through every webinar to try to support the business challenge. So thank you very much, guys. The OIP will not be possible without you as the problem owners, as well as the solvers and innovators. So do take the opportunity to get to know our POs better, our problem owners better, and get the opportunity to link up with everybody. And thank you very much for enduring my very corny jokes. I know my jokes are very corny, but don't worry, I'm going to hand over the mic right now very, very soon. Okay, so thank you very much. We're going to kickstart today's official Innovation Thursday webinar right now. Okay, first up, I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. Leon Lim, the CEO and founder of GroundUp.ai. Leon, are you here, Leon?
Hi, Billy. Can you hear
Hello,
me?
Leon. Yes, I can hear you very clearly. Thank you for joining us today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Leon is here to represent GoneUp AI to tell us about their secret sauce, the secret recipe for success, right? Because they have won multiple business challenges on the Open Innovation Platform. Okay, so Leon, just give me one minute to tell the audience what you guys have done. Okay, so basically, GoneUp.ai has a very unique track record on OIP. They have won 3 business challenges, as far as I know, right, Leon? As far as I know. And okay, let me just summarize. The first one was an Back in Innovation Call 5. It was titled Behavioral Insights to Personalize Attendees Experience with Saswas and SingX, right? So this is back in Call 5. And in Call 6, GoneUp won this challenge titled Understanding Customer Order Behavior for Better Customer Experience with Infineon. That was in Call 6. And also in Call 6, where do you guys find the time to win all these challenges? Okay, in Call 6, they also won this challenge called Intelligent Dynamic Scheduling and Placement System to facilitate grave exhumation and reinterment with Warisan. So basically, GoneUp.ai has a unique track record of winning 3 business challenges on OIP. So today we're bringing about Leon, the CEO and founder, right, to tell us what is the secret of your success. So Leon, how would you like to do this? Yeah. So Leon, are you ready to share, Leon?
I think you can.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm ready to share. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah. Okay, please go ahead, Leon.
Yeah, are you able to hear me?
Yes, Leon, I can hear you. Yeah.
Billy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so
yes,
I think I'll start off by doing a quick how we benefited through the OIP. So essentially, GoneUp AI, we start off really as an AI company. We believe that AI is a good technology. Then enterprises can be really much better through the use of AI. Yeah, then eventually through multiple rounds of this OIP, we found our sweet spot lah. You see, so yeah, we rather than go do like generic services, so we build our product, we build our platform for like the industry. Yeah, so actually OIP help us to really focus on like the technologies that we want to use. Yeah, through the help of the clients also. Yeah, so that's how we started. Yeah. Okay, so the reason why we took part in OIP, I mean, from a participant perspective, right? Firstly, we were thinking that anyway we needed to find clients, right? Yeah, or rather more specifically, not just clients, but we were trying to go a bit deeper and understand the problems that clients face. Yeah, so OIP is a good opportunity because the moment you log in, right, there's already problem statements. Like, the problem owners actually take the time to post specifically what they are facing. Yeah, so I think that helps the startup, you see, because rather than we try to navigate the whole hierarchy, right, and try to figure out what are the problems, right from the start, you already know the problem, so you can focus on trying to understand why the problem owners actually face a certain problem. Yeah, so that's the main reason why we take part. Like we go inside, it's much easier for a startup from a startup perspective. Successful recipe, I guess that there's no like secrets, like there's no secret sauce. Yeah, but there's a certain mentality that we adopt when we take part in the innovation challenges. Yeah, so I think the first thing I want to share is when we take part in this challenge, it's not so much of yourself as a startup, what you're trying to achieve, right? So we go in with the mentality that we have a lot of empathy. We try to understand what the problem owners are really facing. Yeah, so we don't just understand on the surface layer. For I think the example of Warisan, the grave exhumation one. You see, so basically they try to build a scheduler to schedule all these families trying to visit their graves because they need to exhume it, right? To shift. Yeah, so that was a good example because if we take it only on the surface level, not trying to understand deeper, we probably think that, oh, just build another scheduler software, right? But if you really go in, understand, talk to the problem owner, you realize that, there's a lot of operational flow that they have. There's a problem, right? There's a lot of administrative issues at the back as well. And there's also a certain risk that they have of like losing their data if they don't digitize it correctly. Yeah, and then, it's not just about like dollars and cents, right? So that is important, of course, but it's operational hassle that they have to face and the risk that they face if they don't do this. Yeah, so that it's our mentality when we enter the OIP. We go in trying to understand the whole organization and why do they need this, why do they need this particular solution. Yeah, rather than, oh, it's about me, I'm the AI guy, and then I'm trying to like sell my AI to the world or something. Yeah. So I think that mentality helps us to understand quicker. Yeah. Then naturally, once you understand quicker, you try to get what the client is saying, right? With the problem owner, what they are saying, then I would think that there's an increased chance that they want to work with someone that not only has skills, but has skills and can understand their problem clearly. Yeah. So that's the first thing, to have empathy, think from the client perspective. Yeah. Then secondly, I think it's yeah. Oops. Can you all hear me?
Yes, Leon, you're very clear. Okay. I can hear you just fine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then secondly, I think it's be willing to modify whatever that you would actually want to bring into the OIP. Yeah, so all the participants, right, will come in with like a particular skill set or a product that has really, maybe pre-made or pre-built. Yeah, so I think we nearly made the mistake of going in like generically, because we built all this very technology that's really ready. That's a core competency. Yeah, so we nearly made the mistake of going and say that, hey, SingX, look, we already have this recommendation engine. It's great, right? We are like more accurate than the others. Then blah blah blah, how good we are. Yeah, but that doesn't help SingX to really solve their problem. You see, so but the willingness to be able to modify the solution to fit what SingX wants. Yeah, so at a period of time, they already got certain modules done. Certain things that they know they are not so good at. Yeah, and I mean the good things they're willing to share also. So it's us also being willing to modify whatever that it takes, right, to solve the client's problem. Yeah, so the job is only done once the client's problem is solved. The job isn't done when you get awarded the project. Yeah, that's the whole mentality that we adopt, being willing to bend our backs over to solve the client's problem. Yeah. Okay. Then the third point, which leads me to this, is the willingness to think long term with the client. Yeah, so I hope people don't treat OIP as like a just a matchmaking session. Like I get matched with a big company, I do one project, and then I earn a bit of money from this, which is then I move on. It can't be like that, right? The whole aim of OIP, in my opinion, is to encourage innovation in the Singapore ecosystem. Yeah, and real innovation needs deeper understanding, needs time. You see, so when we went in with SingX, we weren't discussing just one particular event, right? SingX is a company with many events. So we're thinking, how can we deploy this module, right, on a larger scale? Yeah, so scale matters, right? Or for the Infineon one, are we just trying to solve one particular problem, like this segment, or can that solution be scaled across the organization? Yeah, so when we approach the clients, we try to think of it strategically. We try to think long term, right? Don't focus so much on just we are going to get awarded $50,000. Then I'm very excited about this. No point, right? It doesn't help Singapore also. Right, think of it as yes, I get $50,000 to cover my cost, right? Maybe it's break even, right? Or maybe you got to overrun a little bit. Yeah. So don't look at this. Look at like if I can work together with, let's say, Case in this case, right? Yeah, what are the long-term benefits I can bring to them? Yeah, don't just think of the immediate money thing. Think like Case, this organization. How can I help them to be better? Right? What are the skill sets I have that is useful? What are the problems do they have that short-term, mid-term, and long-term? Yeah, then I think OIP will be a beautiful experience for everybody. Yeah. Okay, that's my short sharing, B.
Wow, Leon, you've done more than enough to earn a free coffee from me. Next time I must buy you. I'll buy you back in Singapore. I understand right now you're in China?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Which part of China right now?
So yeah, I'm serving my quarantine order. I've done 14 days out of my 21 days.
Okay. Also another 7 more to go. Okay. Yeah. All right. Dongguan. Okay. Yeah. I have no idea where it is. I was going to check the Google Maps later. But basically, I understand that your business is growing because of your exposure through OIP. So that's great. So I do have one question for you, Leon. So when it comes to the actual submissions, right? What gave you guys the X factor in your submissions?
Wow, I think being very structured is important. Yeah, being able to the feedback we get from our clients also, right, is being able to articulate clearly in a structured manner. How does the solution help them? What are the features that we are trying to build, and how does this feature solve that particular problem, and what ROI they can get after that? Yeah, so the more structured the solution, the less cluttered it is, the clearer you can articulate it. I think that really helps to turn the tides. Yeah.
Okay, that's very good sharing there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are open to a few questions on the floor. If you have any questions for Leon, any other secrets you want him to share, do feel free to put into the Q&A box of Zoom.
I see from Michelle.
Oh, there's one question, Michelle. That's right, Michelle. Okay, Michelle. Okay, even though you're in the chat box, I don't worry. We're gonna give you extra time on this. Okay. So Leon, Michelle is asking, do you have any successful use case that you can share with her, like, yeah, or with the audience? Great. How your AI has helped clients? Which one would you like to share?
Maybe I share about predictive maintenance one in that case. Yeah, so the good thing about OIP is, you see, we onboarded with Infineon, right? So we were working the first product is how do we determine how do we rank the clients internally? So we're helping them to create a client score ranking system, right? But immediately once we have proven that, there's some signs that you can get closer to that, they immediately open doors for us to see. Then I think the real strategic one is predictive maintenance, because Infineon manufacturing plant, yeah, so they got all these machines out there, right? So our AI helps them by predicting when the machine fail. Our AI helps them to reduce downtime, right? Our AI tells them that not just whether a machine is having any alerts, whether it's spoiled now, but our AI also is able to tell you, when your machine will break down and the cost of breaking down. Yeah, so OIP gave us a start, introduced us to Infineon. One simple problem statement, right, on how do I rank my clients. We actually went deeper into the relationship, trying to understand the problems, the bigger problems at the back. Yeah, so they see our AI as like I would say the operating system layer, right? So your AI they tell us your AI seems very useful. It's not just for one problem, right? It can solve multiple problems across my company. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Leon, and thank you, Michelle, for your very interesting question. So, I guess in the interest of time, maybe I would just like to summarize together with Leon what he has shared over the last 15 minutes or so. So, basically, Leon, you had three key points to make today about how to succeed in the OIP in submitting a proposal. So, basically, you started with number one, empathy, right? Understand the problem owner's challenges. So that's number one, empathy for what the problem owner is facing, right? So it's not just about dollars and cents. It's also about understanding their operational flow, their admin process, and also the risk that they face in the challenge, right? So number two, what Leon shared, number two was basically be willing to modify your solution. Don't just shove your solution piece, a whole meal, right, a whole piece to the problem owner. Please make sure that your solution is modified to fit what the problem owner wants, right? So the job is only done when the challenge is solved, right? Not when you are awarded is that right, Leon? The job is done only when the challenge is solved. Okay, so that's the thing. And number three is very important. Yeah. And Leon's third point is very important. You must be willing to think long term, right? So don't just focus on the challenge scope alone, but also on what are the long term possibilities, right, that you can spin off based on the working partnership and the solution they come up with, right? And in terms of how to succeed in your submission, right? To how to write a very good submission. So this is like a 10-year series trick. Okay, so basically be structured and articulate your solution in a clear, structured way so that the problem owner understands how your solution can help them solve their challenge. Did I do all right on that, Leon?
Fantastic, 100% right.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, I don't see any tough questions for you. So I think the audience is very gentle with you today. But I do have one more for you. So basically, for Ground AI, right, what has been the biggest learning point from joining OIP?
I think the biggest learning point is that I think from a nation perspective, I'm very bullish on Singapore because of one of the reasons. I think there's a lot of challenges going around, right? Like the usual thinking is, Singapore is just a very we're a kind of rigid country. We're not open to innovations. Actually, there's a lot of effort done in the background. You see, yeah, it should be. Yeah, people should start to see that Singapore is an innovative country also. We attract a lot of good talents. It's not just local. We attract global talents. Yeah, so I think the greatest learning point is Singapore have hope. And regardless whether you're a problem owner or whether you're the one submitting to solve the problem, we should all feel positive that there's a good future for us here. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Leon. I think one of the greatest joys, right, of running OIP is that we get to see Singapore-based companies like yourself, right, like Ground.ai, right? It's a born and bred Singapore company, right? Rising to the challenge and working even with MNCs, right, to solve the challenges. So it's great to see that our our local talents, our local companies, right, are stepping up and then basically pushing everybody up to the next level of innovation. So that's very great. So thank you, Leon. Thank you for dialing in all the way from Dongguan, China. Thank you for sharing your secrets. And I hope I wish you guys future success in OIP and beyond, right? So all the best to you guys in your business. Okay. Thank you, Leon. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been
thank you, Billy. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Leon Lim,
see you guys.
CEO and founder. Bye. Thank you. See you, Leon. CEO and founder of Ground.ai.
Bye.
And he's signing off from Dongguan, China. Thank you. Hope to see you soon. Okay, moving up next, we're going to move on to our very first official item of today. It's going to be our first presentation on a business challenge. And this comes from our friends from the CPF board. That's right, the Central Provident Fund board. And the business challenge is titled Human-Centric Digital Solution for Effective and Meaningful Communication, right? So this is how the problem statement is. How might we allow CPF members, right, to read, comprehend, and act upon the information in an easy, effective, and empathetic way, right? So basically, you're looking for a prototype solution designed around the human-centered experience, okay? So it's our pleasure to welcome our speaker from CPF board. She's Ms. Tang Wen-Yi. She's Director of Strategy and Planning at CPF board. And Wen-Yi has assumed a variety of roles, right? From operations to communications to transformation and even operational tech in CPF board, right? So she currently helps the enterprise level strategy and planning portfolio. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, I don't really need to introduce the CPF board, right? You all know the CPF board enables Singaporeans to have a secure retirement through lifelong income, healthcare financing, and home financing, right? So basically, ladies and gentlemen, to present on CPF board's business challenge, let's welcome Ms. Tang Wen-Yi. Welcome, Wen-Yi.
Thanks, Billy. Thanks, Billy, for the introduction. I shall share my screen now. Just let me know if there's any technical issues. I hope you guys are seeing my screen. Yeah.
Yes, we can see the screen. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, so thanks, Billy, for the introduction and also about what CPF is about. Well, I just go into a very quick introduction about CPF. I think all of you will probably know of CPF, but I'm not very sure whether you know really about all the various schemes and the sort of customer base that we serve, because really people often don't look for information regarding CPF until they really truly need it. Okay, so just a very quick introduction. Like what Billy have said, we are actually a very comprehensive social security system, and essentially what we are trying to do is to ensure that there is social security for all our CPF members, whom really are the citizens as well as the PR. And aside from the fact that we take away 20% of your salary every month, right, together with your employers, that with the money that actually is in your account, you could participate in a very comprehensive set of schemes, right, from home ownership to healthcare. But that also means that when it comes to CPF board, our customer base is very, very extensive, right? So you would be our member from the moment you start working and you start contributing your first CPF contribution, right down to when you finally, is no longer with us and you've drawn down on your very last CPF money. So really, when you look at the demographics in terms of a customer base, is really, really very wide ranging. So you do have to bear in mind that when it comes to our customer base, we are really talking about very, very technologically included and savvy individuals, to right down to those people who may or may not have smartphones, and even then they may have smartphones but they don't know how to use it, right? So this is really when it comes to customer base, you have to bear in mind that this is the sort of demographics that we're dealing with. So earlier on, I talked about the fact that you might know of CPF, but you may not know exactly what else we do. Okay, this is just to give you a sense of our business. And we've been serving CPF members since for 66 years now. Yes, we have been around even pre-independence. So in terms of asset, we are actually, in terms of pension fund system globally, we're actually the 8th largest in the world. And when it comes to insurance business, we're actually the 2nd largest insurance in Singapore. Like earlier on, I talked about the fact that we are actually a very comprehensive social security system. Through CPF, we have actually achieved 90% home ownership, and on an annual basis, we actually pay out 17 billion in housing payments. And when it comes to healthcare, because of the comprehensiveness of the scheme, actually 70% hospitalization do not incur out-of-pocket expenses. And in terms of how much is being paid out, it's about 2 billion a year. Okay. That's really the size of our business. And next, so this is really about, how we're going to have, continue to have our hard touch points with our customers. So really in terms of the size of the business, actually, if you look at the stats, we are among the top 3 government service provider, right? In terms of our e-platform, there's actually 90 million digital transaction performed on an annual basis, and that actually puts us right on top, right? Yeah, and then when it comes to the calls, and as well as the customer that we serve face-to-face at our service center, we are among the top 3. So if you look at the numbers, it's also not small, like, calls is close to 1 million, and number of visits more than 500,000. Yeah, that's really the size of our business. So this is really to give you some context as you try to solve the problem statements that we're bringing forward. Yeah. So earlier on, we talked about the fact that, okay, our problem statement is really about how we want to have a human-centric digital solution for effective and meaningful communication. So if you look at how CPF reach out to our customer, actually we have a whole range, right, of channels from WhatsApp. Yeah, we have been using WhatsApp as well, mailers, emails, and also if you do a post logged in, there's like a secure email facility within our website to enable us to try to transact and communicate with our customers. And as with all organizations, particularly in a COVID environment, we really have to shift very heavily towards digitalization. And also part of our work focus is really we wanted to eradicate hard copies as far as possible. And that's really part of our way of enabling ourselves to be sustainable, and part of us as being part of that whole green movement. Yeah. So there is this, we have this desire to switch towards adoption of digital outreach, but bearing in mind, earlier I talked about how our demographics really is. We have a slightly older cohort who are not digitally included or not digitally savvy. So while we want to do this, in the solutioning, we're actually really looking at how we could, easily transit, this segment of our customers to a digital platform or more digital space. Yeah. Okay. So regardless of the medium, we want to be able to communicate, articulate, and convert the information that we are attempting to give out to our customer into actions or non-action where relevant, because sometimes we're really just trying to tell them that, okay, you're gonna be receiving your payout automatically, and this will be the account in which you will be receiving your monies, and really there's no action required on your behalf. But we want to give you the assurance that you would certainly be receiving your money on this date on every month, but we don't want it to be translated into calls for us, right? So this is where we are at. Okay, so this is really just an elaboration, right, about what I talked about earlier. How can we enable them so that they can understand in an easy, effective, and empathetic way? Because we do understand that actually an effective and empathetic way, because actually for everybody is a little bit different. And okay, yep. So so earlier on talk about the fact that actually we are really a high touch point organization. And so while we are looking into the digital solution, we also want it to be effective and meaningful communication. Yeah. So if we are looking at the more specific stuff, what should the prototype help us to overcome? So of course, language barrier, right? Because earlier on we talked about the whole wide range of demographics. And there would also be the segment of our customers who are more comfortable in vernaculars, right? So English is not their first language, and they are not always able to comprehend if it's a large amount of words in English. Two, it's also the contextual part of it, and this also includes a personalization part of it, because while we want to translate some of this information into actions, we are also looking at space where it's personalized, it's predictive, and also to a certain extent we can anticipate the needs of our customer moving forward. And then finally, there's a technology barrier, which I've already elaborated on quite a lot earlier. Yeah. So in terms of the guidelines, what we're really looking for is a digital experience with some form of human touch, and we're really looking at implementing it in the digital space. Of course, like I said, we still have, like I shared earlier on, we have our service centers, and potentially some of this prototype could potentially be installed at the service center. And this is really to enable us to help, say, some of our customer transit to a self-service platform. Yeah. And of course, certainly because we are CPF, everything has to be secured, right? Yeah. So therefore, the other deliverables, when it comes to the personalized service, would be things like, we must be able to authenticate the individual, right? And then in order for us to convert this into action, then it must be backed up with personalized data so that we can actually really serve him specifically. The other things like troubleshooting, providing assistance, and earlier on I talked about being able to have certain level of analysis, being predictive and all that. And also with the prototype, what we really hope to do is we will be able to collect some data to enable us to actually better fine tune our operations, and to some extent maybe how we can better serve our customer in terms of policy. And really this is one of our top challenge issues. And of course, to link back to our own data to facilitate further analysis. Yeah. Okay, so I think this is all the pitching that Billy has already done for us earlier on. And I understand that the evaluation criteria is actually very fairly straightforward, right? I mean, it's applied across the board. Yeah. So without further ado, I think we will be able to move on to the Q&A. Actually, I do have two of my colleagues with me, Sharon and Jolene, and yeah, I'm just the front woman. They're gonna be taking all the hard questions. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Winnie. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome her colleagues as well. I believe that you have two colleagues with you to share the load in answering the questions. So I do have one sort of generic question that we ask most of our problem owners, right? Basically, the idea is that why not, buy a solution from the open market? Why not buy something off the shelf or from one of those top, tech companies? Why come to OIP? Yeah.
Can I throw the question to my colleague Sharon?
Hello, Sharon. Welcome.
Hi. Hi. I think that basically there's a couple of considerations here, right? I mean, internally, board-wise, we also have our own capabilities. So there's few ways to look at this. First, in our consideration of the problem statement, we will look within our internal capabilities. That's step one. And then step two, like you said, externally, commercially, whether the solution is available, or whether the customization of the solution required makes that off-the-shelf solution less able to fit what we have in mind. So in this case, it may be more beneficial to tap on the open innovation platform or other innovation forms. At the same time, we also want to see some of the good proposals that the market has that can offer. And if we are the ones sourcing for the off-the-shelf products, right, it'll be really basically a one-sided perspective that comes only from us. So when we get a more comprehensive perspective or solutions from the market, right, it is also a way to bounce off ideas so that the eventual solution that we land on, right, has greater mileage. So that's my take on answering the question.
Yeah. If I could just add on, I think the perspective from others will be actually extremely useful. I think a lot of the times we're attempting to solve the problem ourselves. And well, after a while, there's a certain level of groupthink, or you are not able to look beyond certain solutions. And I think that's really where the value in a platform like OIP offers. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Winnie and Sharon. That was a very, very beautiful answer. I give you guys full marks, 10 upon 10. Okay, very good answer. And thank you for supporting the OIP. And I tell you, this, our community of tech solvers, right, they bring a lot of value add to every solution that they come up with. Okay, so it's great that you're here with us. Okay, we do have questions from the floor. I'm going to turn on the floor right now. So first question came from Anonymous, who would like to have a refresher on what are CPFB's current systems. Maybe Winnie can just refresh us on that.
Sorry, our current system.
Yeah. So how are you interfacing with your customers right now? What kind of channels do you have right now?
Okay, in terms of the channels, right? Okay, like I mentioned early on, there's actually a website. If you do a post logged-in, we do have something similar to what the bank has in terms of the secure inbox, right? Of course, when it comes to very specific transactions, so some of you may actually receive direct mailers from us, right? But we have also been moving to digital platforms like emails and WhatsApp, and as well as our CPF app. That's another channel that we use to communicate with our customers. Yeah. Sharon, did I miss out anything?
No.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if the questioner wanted a more technical answer, but we'll wait for the question to come back with more questions on that. Okay, interesting question from Rachel Yo. So Rachel is asking, what are the languages that you require?
Okay, so I would think that will be the usual vernaculars, right? Our 4 languages, so that will be including Malay, Tamil, and Chinese. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. No Korean, right? No need Korean or anything. I mean, not so popular, right?
No,
Just kidding. I want to understand.
No, not yet. I
Okay.
guess.
Okay, it's okay. We're not watching Squid Games here, so it's okay. All right. Okay. Interesting question from Derek Go from the floor. Okay, so besides the language challenges, right? So what other main challenges do you face with your incumbent solution? I think he's referring to your current chatbot solution. So what challenges do you face right now?
Sharon, Jeline, you want to take this question?
Yeah, I think that currently we do not have a chatbot solution roll out, but we did try a live chat solution. I think at the point in time, I think there's 2 ways about it, because like what Winnie shared, the spectrum of the demographics that we are catering to is very wide, from a member first contributing CPF all the way to a member receiving payout. And the challenge that we want to address is basically the digitally less savvy people. So if we want to move and onboard digitally less savvy people to digital channels, that would be a challenge in itself that we're trying to face. And I'm sure that all other agencies have the same challenge as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. Okay, another question. This comes from Joel Yo. Has CPF piloted any other solutions to address the given problems? If yes, can you share what happened and what new challenges were identified? Well, this is a 3-part question. Ladies?
Maybe I have a go at the question. So basically, there's a couple of things that we've tried to do for this problem statement. First, we've done a round of simplification of our letters and our messages. We went through a round to make our letters and our messaging simpler for members to understand. So this is one thing that we have done. Besides that, we have also done a round of enhancements to our service centers, so that we started to move towards some form of digitalization, where we have self-help kiosks, so that we can guide members who are not so confident to use digital solutions to go through digital solutions with the help of guided staff of our service counter staff, so that when they go back, they can actually do that themselves. So that is another thing that we have done to try to address the problem. Then in terms of our website, we have also done a round of enhancement, and we have, I think, in beta stage for our new website. And our new website has a streamlined messaging system, as well as it has done a round of digitalization to help to reduce the language barriers, so to speak, as well as technical barriers for our members.
Okay, what about the last part? Any new challenges that you identified through your, your attempts? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that in addition to all this that we've done, we also recognize that more can be done. So that's, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a challenge, but it's really to complement what we have done today and to do more, so that we can accelerate the digitalization at a faster pace.
Okay. Thank you, Sharon. So that's a big issue, how to get everyone on board, the digitalization train. Okay, a question from Lindy from the floor. Do you have any preferred age group, the younger ones or the seniors?
think that was also one of the questions that the OIP team asked us, whether we want to focus on a particular age group. I think like all problem owners, we tend to want to be a bit greedy here and hope that we can cover as wide a spectrum as possible. But if you look in specific to our problem statements, I would think that we are catering more to that a bit of that niche that's left over. We also recognize that at the end of the day, right, it is impossible to move everybody from high touch to high tech, right? It's always this group of people that will stay high touch. So this the group that we still want to target, or really is the in-between group that is possible to shift from high touch to high tech?
Okay, so I believe it's something you can actually refine together with the eventual winner of this challenge, right? So we can push that to the evaluation stage. Okay, so a question from CM Paul on the floor. Are you looking for 100% software-based solution?
I think that was also a consideration point that we challenged the team to look at whether I think in the initial idea that the team had was really a digital solution plus a solution that can be implemented in our service sector. But I think Wuni reminded the team that that as we move towards the new normal, right, when COVID ends and everything, right, are we still going to be so heavily focused on our service center? Because today, right, we are only by appointment only kind of method, and whether when we move to that new normal or the eventual end date of COVID, right, would we still stick to only appointment? And if so, is there a need to also have this physical kind of solution or only digital? So at this point in time, my sense is that we will need something that is more focused on digital, because there will be longer mileage for the digital solution, but there may be a need to have that a bit of hybrid kind of digital physical, where maybe it's a digital solution that can be implemented physically, that allows self-help, so that our service center can onboard the solution for now until the day that maybe we really move to a situation where we don't even need any service center.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. I believe what your the scenario that you're painting, right, is very exciting, because whatever solution that we develop based on this challenge, right, will be applicable to many other agencies and big organizations with service centers and so on. So it's a very, very relevant challenge that we're looking at today. Thank you very much. Okay, a question from Michelle Yee, and I'm not sure whether this is relevant, but maybe I'll let Woody decide. The question is, I believe CPF does social media analytics today. How do you do it? So I was thinking, is it related to this challenge, social media analytics?
Yeah, I thought it's not quite related, but the quick answer to that is that we do have vendors for that.
Okay, so maybe we can invite the questioner to actually refine the question later. So okay, we have just time for a few more. So let me try my very best to clear as many as I can. Okay, Flo Ang is asking, which demographic group faces the most challenges using your portal currently? Should I hazard a guess?
Sharon?
Yeah, so so I think that currently, based on the data that we're picking up, it's really the high touch people that are facing a bit more of the issue, but we are already trying to address that portion. But as we move towards a more greater amount of digitalization, for example, like even with the payment of CPF, right, using PayNow and everything, these are the people that still would need help. And so I would think that they are the ones who are having more of a difficulty onboarding than the rest.
Okay, thank you, Liz. Because of in the interest of time, right, I'll just answer one more question. For the CPF, I have just one more question for the CPF team, and this will be from Yadu. And Yadu's question is, how difficult is it to do a Uber connect? Connect question. Sorry, do a Uber. Basically, connect questions to people who can answer. What do y'all say to this?
So basically, it's like crowdsourcing the ground for answers to specific CPF related question, if I'm understanding the question correctly.
Yeah, it sounds like that.
Yeah, I think at this point in time, CPF also has rolled out the volunteer engagement program that we have. So we kind of, I mean, to extent, I think that I recognized this when I joined CPF, was that the complexity of some of the CPF schemes and the questions and the knowledge that you need to know to answer some of the CPF related questions are a bit, I would say, not so straightforward. So you have to have that kind of basic understanding. So to open it to across the board massively for people to answer some of the CPF questions may be a bit tricky, and we also don't want to have a scenario where the wrong answers are being passed on. So there is a need to then centralize and ensure that we have a group of people who are very knowledgeable in this area. So that's why we have the volunteer engagement program that is, we're building a group of volunteers who are very passionate about CPFP, who help to answer the questions for people on the ground who wants to have the answers.
Okay, thank you. But I think given all the ideas that we have so far, I think it's going to be a very exciting challenge, and I think the eventual proposal will be quite exciting. I'm very, very excited to see what the final form of this, digital, human-centric tool will be for CPF. Thank you very much, Wooni and team, Sharon, as well as Jeline. Jeline, we didn't take on you with a question today, so maybe next round, okay, next time, okay? Thank you very much. So thank you, ladies.
Right.
We look forward to
Thanks,
receiving many submissions for the challenge. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And coming up next, my pleasure to bring on our next presenter. And the challenge is a very interesting one. This challenge comes from Windock Singapore. It's a Singapore branch of a Japanese company. And the challenge title is Building New Data Empowerment Product Capability. So basically, the problem statement is, how can we add new capabilities to Windock's existing business intelligence and analytic product offerings? It's a very complex challenge, and I'm really glad that we have our next speaker to share with us. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is Mr. Shuhei Yamamoto. He's the Managing Director of Windock Singapore. He has over 14 years of experience serving clients in many industries. And Mr. Yamamoto specializes in customizing business intelligence or BI solutions for businesses across Asia. In addition, he builds strategic partner development with startups in Singapore and provides data analysis, Japan entry support, and joint marketing. So in other words, he does a lot of things. And Windock is actually a data empowerment company with our #1 market share in Japan, right? So Windock provides IT solutions for the collection, analysis, and visualization of data for companies, right? So in essence, right, Windock are experts in data analytics, visualization, and processing, and they have over 25,000 customers globally. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Shuhei Yamamoto, Managing Director of Windock Singapore. Welcome, Mr. Yamamoto.
Yeah,
Should I call you Shuhei? Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, thank you for the information introduction. Yeah, I'll share my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen? Okay. Yeah.
Okay, it's coming. Yes, I can see your screen. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
so yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, it's a great pleasure to meet you. I'm Shuhei Yamamoto, the head of Windock Singapore. In my session, I'd like to convey our key message. Building a new data empowerment product capability. We have worked with startups in using our technology to develop new product capabilities and product lines with a profit sharing model with zero startup cost. We hope to scale our efforts by working closely with IMDA and interested partners. So first, let me introduce our company and concept of data empowerment in detail. Yeah. So yeah, Windock was established in 2004 and have 17 years of experience serving clients from many industries across Asia, from retail to manufacturing. Recently, listed on the Tokyo Stock Exchange in March this year. We are a Japanese enterprise software company providing business document and data empowerment solutions with top market share domestically. Our data empowerment solutions are business intelligence tools that facilitate data visualization, data aggregation, and big data analytics. So let me share briefly about our data empowerment tools, Motion Board. This is a business intelligence dashboard with interactive chart that allows connection with real-time databases or live streaming. Dr. Sam is the backend solution capable of handling large amount of data in lightning speed analysis. Yeah. So yeah, our solution has the highest utilization rate in the manufacturing industry. Also, it has been used in solutions or projects range from smart cities, IoT, retail, and even to construction. We have formed capital and business alliance with Itochu, a big a major Japanese trading company, and Toshiba, which is famous for the manufacturing industry. Recently, we are also working to support data analysis in the field of sports, developing sports technology that range from mental coaching to training solutions for soccer and extreme sports. We are always on the lookout to venture into new frontiers. In fact, one of our new partners is a 19-year-old Olympian. At the Tokyo Olympics, Rim Nakamura participated in the BMX freestyle event and finished 5th. We are looking forward to use data to help him reach peak performance in the Paris Olympics 3 years from now. And next, So as we are a regional company with presence across Asia, we have over 500 distributor partners, which big global brands, and have supported over 30,000 partners and customers from many industries. Here are some household names that you may be familiar with. All of them use our data empowerment tools to digitalize their operations and use data analytics for real-time data-driven decision-making. This gives us confidence that we can tailor our data empowerment tools to work with almost any business. So usually, businesses that want to create their own front-end solutions or use analytics to innovate their business require the know-how and technology. All these take up a lot of initial capital and time. Seeing this challenge, Windock decided to partner with IMDA on our problem statement, building new data empowerment product capability. As your data empowerment partner, Windock provides you with the entire suite of digital transformation tools, both front-end motion board and back-end Dr. Sam, which can be customized to your objectives and done at scale. With zero starting capital, we will use a profit sharing model. For example, a company looking to develop new products and enter new market with data analytics capabilities will be a good fit for this project. So we allow our partners to get free access to Windock technologies to be embedded into your platform or product. Of course, as a data empowerment partner, we will support you beyond providing our product. As shown in point 2 to 5, we would like to be a bridge between Singapore companies, Japanese companies, and Japanese market, sharing not only our technology, but also creating sales network support with our market network of more than 500 business partners and 30,000 customers in Japan and beyond. If suitable, we will support you. We will support with investments as well. Basically, only when the new solution is a success, everyone win. Yeah. So next. Yeah. So I'd like to introduce a local case study in the F&B industry. GMart is a Singapore company offering F&B procurement services. These are complex operations between buyers and suppliers, and it was difficult to manage due to the lack of digitalization. GMart developed the F&B procurement platform, where buyers get the convenience of the single platform to create, track, and pay for recurring orders. Suppliers can efficiently reach out to relevant buyers to increase sales, both reduce cost by optimizing supply and demand behavior. They worked with Windock to enhance their solutions as they had a lot of transaction data and wanted to include data analytics in their existing platform. In our collaboration, GMart was granted exclusive access to Windock's in-house technology, adapting it to track and dataize indicators of their choice. Also, GMart's enhanced product allowed them to expand into new segments of the industry. It's a very straightforward collaboration. As this is a long-term partnership, our collaboration plan grows with the company, and our partnership expands beyond the first phase. So yeah, it's a final phase. This will be our wrap-up. Here are our requirements. But if you are interested in having more detail, please contact IMDA. So in short, we will provide not only our technology and know-how, but also market access and investment. Yeah, thank you for your time and attention. Yeah, we can now proceed to our Q&A time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, Shuhei, thank you very much for your presentation. And we're gonna move on to the Q&A right now. I believe you have your colleague to join you in the Q&A. You should have a colleague to join you to back you up, like what our friends from CPF did. Okay, I'm gonna look for the questions right now, but let me see. Okay, so we are looking for questions in the Q&A right now. So I welcome everybody from the floor. If you have questions for Windock, you have questions for Shuhei Yamamoto, please send in right now, and we'll get them addressed as quickly as possible. Okay, we do have one question on the floor. It says, does Windock have an existing module that can visualize existing data as 3D digital twins? Wow, this sounds very complicated. So do you have a module that can visualize data as 3D digital twins? Shuhei and Ivan?
Yeah. Hi, good afternoon. Yeah, I'd love to take that question. Yes, Windock motion board actually have 3D capability. So let me give a very simple example. What is very typical used in manufacturing is warehouse storage. So if you go into a warehouse and you are trying to find a particular location, so in this case you can visualize a 3D graphical picture of the warehouse, and you're able to see in a 3D dimension a particular location where the inventory level is low and it turned red. So it's very easy and effective way of zeroing in for situation like that, where a 3D dimension help to enhance the ease of viewing information.
Okay, thank you, Ivan. We're gonna move on to another question. This is from Rachel Yo, and she's asking, is Windock able to share what are the end customers' current business infrastructure? Wow. Shuhei and Ivan, you can answer this.
End customer infrastructure.
Yeah.
Actually, it's I guess there is no fixed answer, in the sense that the partner could be integrating Windock's technology into their platform, and they will actually be providing their solution to the end customer. So the end customer infrastructure could be cloud-based, could be on-premise, could be it could be a wide range. So in that sense, I guess there's no absolute answer to that question. In the sense that depending on the solution provider, the end solution would be the end customer infrastructure requirement could be addressed by the solution provider.
Okay, thank you. Another question from the floor. This comes from Joel Yo, and Joel is asking, will a sandbox be made available for potential partners to trial the various products in order to better understand how to leverage the technologies? It's a good question. Would you provide a sandbox for them to play around with the technologies?
Yes, we do. We do. We do have a sandbox, and it's also a quite common situation with some of the partners that we have worked with, where they actually use the sandbox to do some kind of a POC to actually test out the feasibility of the ideas. So it's definitely possible.
Another question from the floor. So it says, from the challenge brief, we understand that you're looking to integrate solutions, right? So what is your existing solution? Like, maybe you can clarify on what exactly the solution they're looking for. Yeah.
The solution we're looking for, or what is our solution?
Actually, they're asking what is the existing solution, but basically also want to know how they can integrate into your solution. So maybe you can explain a bit more about what you're looking for, what your current solution is and what you're looking for. Yeah.
Okay. So Wingock's two product that we are putting on this challenge is a dashboard product, a visualization product called Motion Board. The second product is Dr. Sum, which is a high-speed data aggregating platform, a high-speed database. So these are the two main platforms that we are offering for this challenge. So like in the case of Zima example that we shared early on, so Zima actually have their own procurement platform, and they embed Motion Board into their platform so that their customer can actually see the analytics coming out of the procurement process. I'm not sure that, I hope that can provide some clarity.
Yeah, that sounds really good to me. But basically, I don't know anything about business intelligence, so yeah, sorry about that. But I welcome the questioners to refine the question and send in again, because we still have
please clarify if that's not what you're looking for.
So welcome more questions for our friends from Wingock. Okay, next question from Rachel Yu, and Rachel is asking, does the data involve video and other data? So what does the data involve?
Okay. Generally, most of the data that we've seen, of course, data, you can have structured data, unstructured data. So most cases, data tend to be more structured for the purpose of normalizing it for analytics. So if it is very unstructured, then really there's a process to pre-process it to something that is that you can actually apply a process to analyze. So in that sense, video, yes, there are people that has video, but then the video, there is image processing to actually look at a video to extract data, and those data goes into analytics.
Okay, thank you, Ivan. Okay, another question from the floor. This is from Anonymous saying, are you looking for an existing solution that can be adopted? Yeah.
Yes, both is possible. It could be an existing solution. It could be a partner that is a solver that is going to build a new solution that embed Wingock's technology. It could be both cases.
Okay, thank you. Now, actually, I have one personal question on my own, because I went to look at your challenge brief on the OIP website, which is again at www.openinnovation.net. I saw, www.openinnovation.sg. Okay, I saw that you had two scenarios, two use cases, right? So one involves a startup, the other involves a systems integrator. So I just like to know, what kind of companies are actually looking for to collaborate with you on this challenge? What kind of companies are you looking for? Is it a startup, or is it an integrator, or is everything in between?
Yeah, actually, it's all of the above. Let me explain. So it could, maybe startup is not. It could be a startup. It could be even an established company. It's basically I'll take a startup is more straightforward and say, a startup probably is still in the process of adding a lot of functionality to their solution. That's probably an easy one, right? I take a matured case. So it could be a matured company that already have a solution that addresses their market. So they could be looking at the opportunity to enhance their functionality to their customer in the form of adding data analytics. So in this case, they could take advantage of Windock's technology, integrate that into their solution, and now offer new functionality additionally to their customer. So that is in the case of a more so-called more mature company rather than just a startup.
Okay, so basically it's very interesting. So you open to both startups and mature companies.
Yes,
so
it can be all above. Yeah,
very good. It's very open. It fits the whole open innovation process. Very good. Thank you. Okay, just two more questions from a WingArt. One is from Anonymous. It says that given WingArt has a strong presence in manufacturing, and if we are integrated with WingArt, would you provide the support within this sector? Or are you looking for solvers with ready experience in the sector? Well, this is a tough one. Shuhei and Ivan? Yeah.
Well, actually, Windock is very successful in manufacturing in Japan, but actually, it is not confined to manufacturing. In fact, it is interesting. The Japanese government, because of COVID, they actually required they doing a data analytics of all the movement of people throughout Japan. It's actually an open website that you can actually see from the Japanese government. So the Japanese went out to the industry, and Windock is one of the, I think, 5 companies that work together to generate this data analytics to support the Japanese government in terms of monitoring and presenting information related to COVID-19. So that's a case whereby, it is really nothing to do with manufacturing. And you can see the presentation slide here. It is actually used across many industries. You can be used in telecommunication. In fact, we have banks. One of the bank that is featured here is actually the top 5 bank in Japan. So it can be used across industry. It's not just confined to manufacturing.
Okay, thank you. So basically, you're across diverse industries rather than just manufacturing. So it's very good.
Yes.
So open to different kinds of sectors and industries as well. So thank you.
Yes.
So we actually have 2 more questions, but I would like to invite our friends from WingArt to key in the answer so that we can move on to the next topic. So thank you very much, Ivan and Shuhei, for a great presentation and for sharing more about your challenge. I look forward to all the exciting submissions for your challenge. Thank you very much, our friends from WingArt Singapore.
Thank you.
Moving on, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And moving on, we're going to invite back one of our return customers. Okay, I believe I'm going to say hi to Mr. Brian Chu from the Smart Local. Hi, Brian.
Hello, Billy. Yes, I am a return customer.
And I see my favorite guitar is still back there. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, the Smart Local was with us for Innovation Challenge called TED, and they had 2 challenges there as well. And today, they are back again with 2 more challenges. So what more can I say but that the OIP is such a powerful tool that we're encouraging people, and people are actually encouraged to come back again to find new innovative solutions. Right? Thank you, Brian, for joining us again. I just gonna introduce a bit about your first challenge in Innovation Call 11. This is called Powering Hyperlocal Publishers with E-commerce. Right, another challenge from the Smart Local, and the problem statement is how might we empower a hyper-connected e-commerce site to create a virtuous cycle of online deals, ladies and gentlemen, driven through data in real time for merchants, consumers, and partners. Okay, so our speaker will be Mr. Brian Chu. He's the CEO of the Smart Local, and Brian heads the business and content strategy of the Smart Local. He's also a very good guitar player, I'm assuming, based on the visuals right now. And of course, the Smart Local is actually one of the most popular, portals you can find in Singapore. It's also the media. TSL Media is also one of the largest new media groups in Singapore. So basically, I understand that, Brian, you guys are writing lots of stories about Squid Game. Why Squid Game?
Because it's the most popular show on Netflix right now.
Okay,
and
let me.
it's also popular all across Southeast Asia, not just in Singapore. In every Southeast Asian country, it is probably #1.
Okay.
It's a very easy way to get traffic.
Okay, that means after this session, I'm going to start watching the Squid Game. Thanks to your coverage on the Smart Local. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Mr. Brian Chu, CEO of the Smart Local. Take it away, Brian.
Thank you, Billy. Are you guys going to be? Do I share my screen, or will you guys be sharing the screen for me?
Okay, it's your preference. Do you want us to share, or you can share?
I can go and share my screen.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so maybe I'll start with just a brief introduction about TSL, if people aren't super familiar. So we are a leading new media brand in Singapore. Sites under us include Marshall News, Eatbook, Zula, and also Telegram Collective, where we have about 380,000 subscribers in the Telegram group. So a lot of people ask, why is your why is the company so big? How come we have 150 people? And it's because we are kind of like we have like three main business units. We have our YouTube arm, and we have our Facebook video arm, and we have our editorial arm. So we're kind of like a combination of SGAG, Night Owl Cinematics, and Mothership, which is why our team is so big. Many different business units. So that's where we are at now. Where we want to be in the future, we realize that, okay, media is an industry which is not super scalable, meaning that if we want to have more revenue, we have to hire more people. We are at a situation now where we have quite a lot of cash reserves, and we have done well over the years, and we want to try and extend our lead in something which is quite scalable, a scalable solution like a TSL 2.0, which is why we are back here for round 2. We do want to invest in technology, and we do have the resources right now to do so. So that we can essentially get further ahead. That's our main goal. And so that we can create some sort of scalable solution, which will not necessarily result in requiring us to hire a lot more people to get more revenue. We just get more revenue because of technology. So there are a few ways to work together. The first way is similar to the OIP, a way where essentially given a cash sum. I think it's about 40-50K, similar to the last round, and essentially that's it. It's like a contract commission basis. There's also another way, if you guys feel there's a potential to own an IP, co-join and own an IP together and run and build something with us. We're also considering especially if you're like a smaller boutique company, we're also considering a partnership or an equity option. If you guys, so that would be this would be partial. This would be like a part cash and also part equity. So existing solutions are completely fine, meaning that if you have something which is out of the box and you want to go and reuse it for one of our problem statements, that's fine. Just make sure that there has to be some customization and some programming done. It cannot just be it exactly being used out of the box and that's that. No, there has to be like some customization, because there is some customization required in our products for sure. So as Billy has shared earlier, we really participated in an earlier round, and in one of these rounds we've already confirmed the vendor in phase 1, and we are also talking about a phase 2, and in total the sum is about, I think, 150,000. So we are very prepared to continue and invest and work with vendors, and we are looking for essentially new vendors to work with now. Okay, so so essentially what Bill introduced, the powering e-commerce thing. An easy way to think about this is, for the first problem statement, is we essentially want to build a referral system. And I think the closest example to this in Singapore or in Southeast Asia right now is this site called Shopback, which I'm sure everyone is very familiar with. And how Shopback works is that essentially people sign up for a Shopback account, and anytime you click on the Shopback site or a partner of Shopback, you'll get some rebate back. This is because, well, Shopback has arranged and brokered deals with all of these companies. For example, maybe Klook will give them 7% of all their sales, which they have, and which they get under an affiliate model, and then they would then give maybe 5% back out to users as cash back under Shopback, and they'll keep 2% themselves. So that's how it works. It kind of like it's a new spin on the affiliate model, but it's very clever because it's extremely scalable as well. And I think that there's no other competition in Southeast Asia. This is an avenue that we want to go and explore. In Japan, there's an extremely successful site which does this, called Kakaku. It's also listed on the stock market, and it is doing extremely well. Like, this company actually invested in Singapore companies. That's how well they're doing. They invested in Love Bonito, they invested in Money Smart, and so on. But essentially it's the same thing. It's one of the most popular sites. You click on anything and boom, immediately it's all affiliate link driven. And it's something that we want to explore a lot more heavily, because it is just a huge revenue driver. And it is very scalable. And given that we aren't just in Singapore now, we are all across Southeast Asia, that potential is huge. So what are going to be the core features for this? Well, we will want to have, obviously a member homepage so that they can go and track track the number of money that they have saved essentially by clicking on, and then they can go and cash out by clicking on on links which are partners of ours. So we have a full sales team, and we really have relationships with all the people, with most of the players in the industry. So we will be able to get that merchant acquisition very fast. Essentially, there has to be some sort of well, the way that these sites like Kakaku does it, they have listing pages, but we already have our TSL content sites. So essentially, we just need to make it easy to go and have the link point to any of our partner sites. So there just has to be that functionality built in. Our team can just generate the link and it'll just point to it. There has to be affiliate system tracking in place, of course. And lastly, there has to be a Chrome extension for usability. So let me go a bit into these core features. So kind of like this is what the homepage will look like if you are like the person signed up with the account. You have the available balance and whatnot, but that's about it. It's like the balance that you have and the balance activity history, and that's about it. There's also the refer and earn, but this one is we have to do it in a phase one. For the minimum viable product, it's really just this first screen, the available balance and the history. And then this is a listing page, but we don't really need this because we really have our WordPress CMS, so essentially we just need for there to be a capability to generate links on the back end to go and point to any of the merchants. So our editorial team can quickly just go and populate the entire site with links. This thing is something which we'll definitely need. It's a Chrome extension. And with a Chrome extension, it just makes it easy when people are browsing through using Chrome, whatever, when they land on a partner site. Immediately they know that they don't have to manually go back to our site to click on the link. It's immediately integrated. So that's the core function. So that's actually all for the first problem statement.
Okay, Brian. So that's it for the first challenge. So I'm going to open the questions to the floor. But Brian, because you're our return customer, right? I have a semi-tough question for you. Just to because you are more experienced with OIP. So basically, I just want to ask you, what are you looking for, right? That a team of freelance programmers can't give you. What are you looking for that the market can't give you? Yeah.
Okay. I mean, well, firstly, I do value IMDA's involvement in this a lot, be it from the funding perspective or even when it's not funded, the support that IMD provides, including providing the consultants to draft out, the proper technical specifications, and then after that, the milestone and planning. So I do like that sort of structure. I think structure is very important. Timelines, milestones are very important. Things have to be done in a very systematic way. I actually have a bit of like what we're looking for at the end here. So a good track record is important. I think it will make the most sense for companies is when they really have sort of like they've built something similar, but not exactly that, but something similar where they can reuse some of the code, and then, it makes financial sense for them to, let me just also take on this project, devote some man hours to this, and then after that, they have a good track record. So you have like a portfolio of good partners that you have worked with already, established reputable partners, and you've gone through that whole phase with them already. That is something which is I value very highly. Another thing which I value extremely highly is a non-generic proposal. I think in the last OIP round, what happened was a lot of vendors submitted just the media kit lah, it's essentially the media kit. I mean, and yeah, it's not very convincing when that happens because this is something that we want to invest. Eventually, I'm going to invest like a 6-figure amount in this, So we do want to see that level of commitment into wanting to work on this. Like it'll be good if you're aligned and you believe that it's a good idea and you are interested and passionate to build it. So a non-generic proposal would be good, meaning that please don't just submit your media kit lah. If you plan to or don't have enough time, it's best to not just submit it because like essentially we're not going to prove we're not going to prove any generic proposal. It's as simple as that. The ones who all got shortlisted, who all got to the next stage. And essentially, I think this is also what IMD values are those who took the time to go and it doesn't have to be extremely complicated. It just can be short. It can be short. It's fine as long as it communicates. It shows that you understand the problem, and that it would be good if there's some videos, but if not do a mock-up, it's fine also. But that's a bonus, as long as it's not a generic media kit. You know, you are showing us that how you're solving our problems. That would be fine.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Okay, we have one question from the floor, and it says, is the Smart Local looking for payment gateways to be part of the solution as well?
Payment gateways, yes, it would be integrated with payment gateways. So sort of like using the Stripe API or something along those lines, where it's just a very seamless process. We do, yeah. Ideally, we don't want to store any balance ourselves. That would be the ideal situation. But we have to go and also think about the solution, whether that's even feasible.
Okay, now, what if the proposed solution, right, offers you more than just a short back comparator or a cargo comparator? What if the solution gives you even more value add features, for example?
Well, we will love it for sure, because those two companies are very valuable. So the market has already shown that and validated that business model. Any other features would be like icing on the cake. We would definitely appreciate it, and it will make you stand out. But even like the basic features, even if you do the basic features very well, that's something I value a lot.
Okay, thank you, Brian. I'm just going to wait to see whether we have any more questions from the floor. But I do understand that for this particular challenge, right, the cash price is actually $40,000. Ladies and gentlemen, this challenge, the cash price is actually $40,000. So when you win it, it really is a pretty decent summary to start work on this project. So it's going to be very good for you. Okay, one more question from Flo Ang from the floor, and it says, do you allow to upsell and cross-sell to your existing customer base? Do you have in-house customers data source, right? Either the structure or non-structure. Okay, it's a two-part question. All right, what do you say, sir?
Will we allow
upsell and cross-sell, right, to our existing customer base?
We are going to be promoting it very heavily to our existing bases, which I feel, which gives us the confidence in how we're going to enter a market where there's an existing competitor, right? Essentially, gives us the confidence because TSL has been around for a long time, and we've always remained very relevant in the Singapore social media space. So we really have that huge amount of distribution, and we really know that we are bringing in significant amount of revenue, because we are really working with partners, like Klook-like partners essentially, and we are on this referral thing. So it's really a proven thing for us. Now it's just building the technology. Sorry, what's the second part of the question?
The second part is about the data. Do you have the in-house customers data source, either the structured or non-structured data? Yeah.
In terms of like, do we have like a mailing list, a database? We don't keep that information, but we are going to be essentially, once we do this, we'll get like the user acquisition to us. I feel it's not an issue lah. We'll get it very rapidly because we really have a site which gets, so we get about 20 million page views every month lah. Given that Singapore has a population of 6 million, like 20 million page views a month is quite significant.
Yeah, that means you're quite a regional powerhouse in that sense. Oh, well done, well done. Okay, we're going to move on right now to the next challenge from the Smart Local. And again, I'd like to invite Mr. Brian Chu once again to be challenge. It's titled, okay, Brian, just allow me to just explain the title. It's called the Smart Nano Influencer Marketplace. So Brian, you need to tell us what's a nano influencer. And the problem statement is, how might we effectively match nano influencers with enterprises so that they can collaborate and create value together safely and securely? Take it away, Brian.
So in this case, again, this is something which is, there is already some technology out there. There are some competitors. There isn't a very clear market leader in this space, but it's also, there's a lot of synergy with our existing business. So this nano KOL marketplace, well, what's a nano KOL? It's essentially a KOL which an influencer who does not have a significant amount of following, but there are a lot of people like that in Singapore, a lot more than, let's say, real legit people who have like 50,000 followers. So that is following the industry where like sometimes KLs would write in and ask to be featured, whatnot, and say, hey, can I dine here? Can you host me or whatever? And then after that the PR people, the restaurant will go and shame them on social media, and it's all very funny. Like, look at this influencer, right? They aim for free food and so on. And it also, but little do people know that also happens the other way. A lot of times, a lot of smaller publications, they write into the big publishers all the time, every day. Like, can you feature us? Can you feature that? They're always pitching stories here and there. So, and the reason for this is, well, there isn't really like a platform where these small businesses and like these nano KOLs can meet, right? And then suddenly, okay, we are going to solve the problem right there. We are going to play like matchmaker, right? So essentially, that's what we want to do. We don't want to target the big KOLs because there are existing solutions for that. We want to go and target essentially the nano KOLs, where maybe it could be a restaurant saying that, okay, I want to do a hosting and I want to introduce people to my restaurant. I would maybe require people who have like 500 followers, and they just have to post a IG post, and then I'll host them for a night. And on that, through this platform, they will maybe engage 20 KLs or 30 KLs very, very quickly with a click of a button, essentially. Right. So that's the problem that we want to solve, right? This nano KL marketplace. So there are some competitors out there. I think one of the ones which are decently funded right now is Party Post, but there are many. There's also one launched by called Toko Town, which is a partnership by Gojek and Tokopedia. But essentially, I think it all comes down to execution. Like when it comes to taking the market share, and it's just because we have such a huge amount of following and a distribution network already, and we also have our own KOLs, and we are so familiar with the process. And we have all the contacts as well with all the clients. We do feel that we could enter as a worthy competitor, essentially. So what are the core features? Yes, we would have similar. We would have like a member homepage where you can have the transactions and the reviews. Transactions meaning that essentially the deals which the KOLs have signed up for, there will be a transaction history and so on. There will be a payout, a balance, so on, and there'll also be a review, a very simple review portion where people can leave the company and they can leave each other reviews. There'll be a marketplace listing page where people can go and browse through and find. So this one has to be built. Unlike the previous solution where we can just use TSL as the discovery area. Over here, this one we have to go and do some simple navigation. There has to be the interface which the KOLs logs in has to be different from the interface which the merchant logs in, which is very similar for any any site which has both, any marketplace which has both like a seller like Etsy or Fiverr or whatever, seller and the buyer side. Okay, so this is kind of what it'll look like from the member homepage. It will look like this, where there's the balance line, the transaction history. So it's pretty simple. It's like this. That's it. Of course, we will pair with our existing solution, which is a real-time analytics, which allows clients to access all the statistics of the posts which they produce, essentially. But we already have that solution built already, so we're just going to pair that with this. So this is what the merchant standpoint. This is how it looks like, essentially. There will be it's just different pages for merchants and the KOLs to log into. So that's it. Both of these solutions, actually, if you notice, right, the complexity isn't high because it's not very complicated. It's like one key feature, two key features. But of course, the key features have to be done very well in order for it to work. Okay, Billy. That's it.
Okay, that's it for challenge number 2. But before we go on to the Q&A of challenge 2, I believe that we have one question left over from challenge 1. So I'd like to go back to the question from Barun. Sure. So if you can just answer this from Barun, it says, do you want a cookie-based conversion tracking system? What is the reason for not working with companies like Cake, who already have an affiliate tracking system? So there's 2 questions in one. Yeah.
Okay. Do we want a cookie-based? Well, I think that's the only way to go and track. I'm not sure if there's another way to go and track, but I believe that's the most popular way. So, but if there's another way, we are open to explore ideas for sure. We are open to explore. We just want to use the best solution. What is the reason for not working with companies like Cake? Well, we don't want to be a merchant on Shopback. We want to build our own Shopback, essentially. I think that's the thing. I believe that, and I believe that why we want to do this because we have the capabilities, we have the financing, and we also have the distribution and the time in the industry to be able to build that solution. And I think ShopBack has, I think recently the valuation is like 93 million or something along those lines. It was pretty high. So obviously there will be a sort of valuation that we want to aspire to. Apart from our media business having like a 2.0, that would be fantastic as well.
Wow, that sounds very incredible, Brian. Thank you for answering Varun's question. Okay, we'll now move on to questions for your challenge number 2 about nano influence. Oh, before we start, basically, Brian, may I know what is the industry definition of a nano influencer?
I'm not sure. I know nano means like, like smaller than micro, right? So nano technology. So I assume that it's really people, the influencers who aren't monetizing yet. So they aren't like technically getting paid whenever they do content at the moment. So maybe it could be like they are willing to barter. They're at a stage where they're bartering, but they're happy just maybe. Well, I mean, obviously, like there are some deals like staycations that they would love to barter more, and you get a lot more responses for.
Okay, the reason I'm asking because I would like to know the numbers. Like, what defines a nano influencer? Is it like 5 followers or that kind of level?
Okay, I'm not sure. Let me just quickly Google it.
I thought you guys would have it in your head, but yeah.
I just know it's very little. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm checking my
100 to 10K according to Google. My definition is 100 to 500.
100 to 500, okay. As in 100 followers.
100 to 500 followers or 100 to 1,000.
Okay. So I need to check my Instagram and my Twitter and my Facebook just to make sure I qualify. Okay, I'm just kidding, guys. Okay, move on to questions on the floor right now on this nano influencer challenge. And the first one is from Rachel, and Rachel is asking, is the Smart Local open to have a feedback module too for both the influencers and the enterprises? Do you want to have a feedback module, Brian?
We would love to have it because I think that was one of the challenges. There was this thing called Glassdoor influencer reviews, which was very popular about like 2 years ago. Then it closed down because of like some impartiality issues. So essentially, there's that demand. Like people in the industry want to know, hey, can I work with this KOL? Is she just going to be a nightmare to work with, right? Who is professional? Who is not? And likewise, in KOLs also want to know, hey, is this like restaurant just going to lowball me and waste my time, or are they going to be very stingy or whatever? Like give me half a staycation and kick me out in the middle of the night, things like that. I mean that's a joke, of course. But yeah, so yes, we definitely want to be able to provide that feedback, and that probably will be done with reviews. People can leave reviews, public reviews, essentially.
Okay. Thank you, Brian. Now, next question from the floor. Very interesting. Can the Smart Local share what are some of the considerations in matching influencers to enterprises?
So there will be some search filters which enterprises could use, and it will be enterprises who are doing more of the, hey, I have a job. Would anyone want to go and bid for it, essentially? Right. So that's what the posting will be. The jobs will be created by them. And so they would, what the KOLs could then do is then they could search, by industry. I think the category is probably the most important. Is it food? Is it beauty? Because you have very different brands in these spaces, right? And likewise, there would be a KOL database. And again, these companies can choose to go and blast out this message, which will appear in their notifications. If the KOL meets a certain criteria, then they get their notification message that they can choose to apply for a job, and then after the company can accept. So that's sort of like how there are basic parameters, search parameters, and that's how the matching process is done. This doesn't require I think it doesn't require machine learning. This is not one of the requirements, right? Since TSL is funding this, so you have to worry about that portion. Just make it like a simple matchmaking would work.
Okay, Brian, to follow up that question, we have one related question. Is the platform intended for two-way matching or only for enterprises to find KOLs, one way only?
That's a good question. I think it should be built with a two-way in mind. But at the start, I would want to just focus on essentially it would be so it always will actually have the it's kind of like a jobs board, essentially, if you think about it. It's like a company posts a job, right? And then after that, the KOLs would apply for it. They will apply for the job. So essentially, they can go and blast it out and contact people who might, the company can contact people who might already fit that profile, right? But then also, of course, KOLs can have the choice to also go and apply. So there will be like a list of like, open deals in the platform which are available right now. Maybe they've not filled in their quota of like 20 packs. They're looking for 20 nano influencers. So it shows 15 out of 20. And then after that, that's when the KOLs can go and participate and express their interest. But ultimately, it'll be up for the company to accept whether they want to accept this KOL to work with them.
Okay. Thank you, Brian. I think I have one more question from the floor for you, and this is very interesting. How do you envision the KOL profile to look like? Like, what kind of data will you want to show the enterprises?
Well, we would have to go and check with essentially with the Instagram API, what sort of data can be put. But let me just quickly share with you my screen. Okay. So new share. Hang on. Let me see. Okay. So essentially, there's already public available data. Let me go and new share. Okay, let me share my screen with you quickly. So this is really something that we have already built, where we already have real-time data for Instagram, for example. We are pulling this data out, which is actually private. Something like reach and impressions are private lah, essentially. We are pulling this data out. And I think it's a bit buggy, by the way, that they are. Okay, but anyway, we're putting this data out, and essentially, when KOLs do campaigns for clients, they actually get all this data. It's a really instant connected. So they can access the data of all their campaigns, and then they can choose to, hey, do I want to work with this KOL more, or do I want to work with this one who has gotten better results? So that is like during the campaign process. Prior to the campaign process, when the company is doing the search for KOLs, what they can do is what data will be shown is probably their follower count and probably maybe their last 10 poster engagements. So for example, it will automatically aggregate and pull. If the last 10 posts was maybe like 200 likes or 100 likes or whatever, it will automatically show that last 10 posts likes was received or last 10 comments was received, so that people can have an indication. But we'll keep it simple. We won't make it too complex. And I think that would be enough already for this to be successful.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, thank you, Brian. I think you've answered all the tough questions today, and I think you're ready to relax and watch Squid Games already. So I'm going to let you off. Thank you very much, Brian Chu, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Chu, CEO of the Smart Local, and I look forward to all the exciting submissions for 2 challenges, Brian. Thank you very much.
Any questions? Also feel free to reach out to us. So
yes, oh wait, there's one. Oh, 2 more questions. Shall we? I'll tell you what, Brian. Can I sort of like ask you to actually reply via the Q&A tool within the Zoom? Just type in the answer to the 2 questions that came in. Okay. Thank you very much, Brian. And I guess I may be looking forward, but I hope to see you back again for Innovation Call 12. So looking forward to you joining us again. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that's been Brian from the TSL. Thank you very much, Brian. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
And move on to our final interesting challenge of the day for this Innovation Thursday, and comes from the Consumers Association of Singapore. And I believe that CASE is currently celebrating its 50th anniversary. And so congratulations to CASE on the 50th anniversary. I believe you will have a logo competition going on right now. So I wish you all the best of luck in the entries for your logo competition. And the challenge from CASE in Innovation Call 11 is titled Information Navigator Tool to Assess and Answer and Address Queries. And the problem statement is, how might we build a smart information navigator that can deliver timely and relevant information to CASE stakeholders easily? And I'd like to welcome our speaker from CASE is Mr. Wilfred Ang. He's the Deputy Head of Consumer Relations at CASE. And Wilfred has been with CASE since 2012, right? And he currently takes care of the frontline officers as well as the call center at CASE. He's also the Assistant Administrative Secretary of CASE's International Affairs Committee, and is the point of contact between foreign delegates and CASE. So Wilfred is very, very busy. And of course, the Consumers Association of Singapore is a non-profit, non-governmental organization that is committed towards protecting consumers' interests through information and education and promoting an environment of fair and ethical trade practices. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Wilfred Ang from CASE. Welcome, Wilfred, and take it away.
Thank you, Billy. I think, Billy, you are very updated with our case events. Yeah. So, very good afternoon to all. Thanks for the sharing of slides as well. Yeah, I'm Wilfred from CASE. So I do ground sensing as I take on complaints raised by the public, and I assist the consumer to negotiate with the business to achieve a positive outcome. So thank you to all who are listening in. So today I'll be sharing on the information navigation tool that we are looking for, which actually we will hope to be able to ease most of my colleagues' workload, and at the same time allow relevant and timely information to be easily located by the public. So we hope that with this smart navigator, the consumer can be guided through a series of relevant questions, which helps better understand their intent so that they will get the correct information provided quickly and efficiently as well. So next slide, please. So first, let me share with you briefly about our organization. So we are the only consumer watchdog in Singapore. Slide 2, thanks. So CASE was set up back in 1971. And like Billy said, incidentally, this year marks our 50th anniversary. So we are a non-profit organization, and our mission and vision is basically to seek to champion consumers' interests and promote fair trading as we endeavor a consumer-friendly Singapore. So CASE, we focus on educating the public. We let them know their rights, what they can ask for, and we provide them with tips on what to watch out before they enter into an agreement. We update our consumer alert page pretty often, and in the event the consumers themselves meet with the dispute, they can approach CASE and we represent them to seek amicable resolutions through mediation. So we'll also work closely with whitelisted companies through our CASE Trust department. So these companies fulfill the criteria for fair trading, and the CASE Trust decal, which you can actually see diagonally bottom left of our CASE logo in this slide, is a trademark which gives the consumers confidence and assurance so that they are able to shop with a peace of mind. So we too work closely with the ASAS, so it's the Advertising Standards Authority of Singapore. So CASE do provide secretariat support for this council as well. So if you do come across sketchy advertisements which displays information you find pretty questionable, so please do not hesitate. You can approach ASAS to seek the advice as well. Okay, next slide. So throughout the process of protecting consumers, of course, CASE, we do face our own hurdles as well. So we hope to leverage on some digital technologies to mitigate such following challenges. So because CASE, we are the only consumer body in Singapore, we do service not only the entire Singapore, we also assist foreigners and tourists if they were to meet issues during their purchases as well. So a lot of time before we take up these cases, the consumers will start off with inquiries, so perhaps through our mobile hotline as well. So our hotline colleagues, roughly 2 to 3 of them, they can get around, say, 1,200 calls per month. So this large proportion of queries at times, it is not exactly specific to their dispute per se. It's more towards like pretty repetitive questions such as how can they lodge a complaint, what is the cost, what do they need to do. So such info actually take up some of my colleagues' time. So even though such information can be found on our website itself. So it is a big challenge as our call center colleagues have got to stand by for the high volume of hotline queries, and a large proportion is actually answering questions which are rather repetitive. So for basic and more commonly repeated questions, we hope to be able to get a system that allows relevant automated response that is helpful and easy to understand. So this will definitely free up my colleagues' time so that they are able to focus on a more high-level, specific scenario-based sort of questions that our consumers may need to seek advice. So also at times, our call center receive calls from merchants asking on procedures to be CASE trusted. So in this scenario, we also would like the solution hopefully to be able to connect the consumers to, let's say, our CASE Trust department, our ASAS department. And even though they do have their individual websites, sometimes people still end up calling our main hotline to inquire. So point number 2, as you can see, I would like to also highlight that navigation of issues may be a bit of an issue, especially for consumers that first visit our website. So sometimes they feel it's a bit overwhelming. There are way too many categories. So they face difficulties actually finding the information that of what they want. So again, they end up calling our hotline, and actually if with more user-friendly sort of a guideline, perhaps they are able to find their information at their own convenience through our website instead. So a lot of time actually data is just numbers in our database system. So we do hope that with this new system that or solution, let's say, we are able to analyze data more effectively so that we are able to be alerted on, let's say, the trends and even spot a potential change in consumer behavior. So we currently do lack an integrated database because my colleagues in the stats who are actually assigned statistics, they are only able to, let's say, use simple Excel tools, and it is difficult to pick up, let's say, rising trends, and the results of the statistics generation usually is only limited to, at best, let's say, a pivot table. So this incomplete database data points are further worsened, let's say, as consumers sometimes choose to air their issues on social media instead of feedback to case. So through this analysis of data, so it will be more meaningful, perhaps case to be able to gather ground sentiment and also help support to curate better content and decision making, especially at our management level, to remain relevant in Singapore. So case, of course, we do have an existing Microsoft Dynamics system currently, but we do not exactly use it too often to analyze statistics. So largely, I've just, let's say, as per what I've mentioned, it is still pretty manual and then done through Excel. So let me highlight the problem statement. Okay, slide 4 is how we actually are able to build a smart information navigator that delivers timely and relevant information to case stakeholders easily. Okay, next slide 5. So perhaps let me elaborate a bit on this. So we are looking for a prototype solution that can help consumers, both local and overseas, be able to navigate our system easily, be pointed to the right answers with suitable additional information if possible, so that they're able to, their whole overall experience can be enhanced. So I'll go through some features that we hope the solution is able to incorporate. So like I've mentioned earlier, a smart information navigator which promotes a DIY sort of a self-help for the consumers. So as and when it is convenient, let's say they are able to surf our website and independently retrieve info that they would require. So the solution must be able to help retrieve relevant resources across all 3 of our portals, namely, of course, Case, our Case Trust, as well as ASAS. So later in the next slide 6, slide 6, it is just a simple how do the 3 websites look at first instance, like if you were to key in the URL. Okay, sorry, back to the slide 5. Okay, so based on the consumer search query, we would require the solution to be a smart information recommender. So it would be most ideal if the solution is able to have an online crawler to gather feedback from various platforms, say based on the subject and search criteria. So we hope to be able to allow consumers to self-help. So we do also have some common case trust inquiry, such as how do we apply for case trust. And for escalation purposes, we would like to be able to assist with business who has more specific and in-depth inquiries to, let's say, apply for case trust, which cannot be addressed by the navigator, to be, let's say, directed to the correct contact details of my case trust colleague instead. Next slide. Next slide. So for point 4, another slide. Yeah. So for point 4, under queries redirect, okay, maybe let me share a bit for everybody's understanding is the more common queries that our case actually gets. So almost every day, we will have consumers calling in, asking us how they can submit their complaints. So if they need to make appointments and etc. So we do also receive many inquiries which are business to business in nature, which unfortunately we do not handle. So with regards to such issues, it will be in fact more time saving if let's say that we are able to have this solution. So definitely also allows our call center colleagues to focus on the non-standard queries. So the point 5 is for trend analysis. We do want automatic tracking and analysis of incoming queries as well to understand trends of pertinent issues. So we'll help our organization make more informed decisions as well. So lastly, let me share more about our overall performance requirements in the next slide. Okay, so firstly, the solution should be able to seamlessly integrate with our case websites and should not impair the website's performance. We do not want the solution to only be accessible through desktop as well. So preferably one that is mobile interface friendly, such that both the mobile phone as well as laptop you are able to access to this page. So a responsive system, easy to use for both staff to manage the solutions and for consumers to find the information is what we will need. So we definitely also need, of course, our system to be smart. So to be able to interpret questions and generate suitable answers. And last thing we need is, of course, we need is for the system to direct everything to our call center, and then that definitely defeats the purpose. So we also need the solution to be easy to maintain, reliable, and security are most important, as we cannot afford to have a high downtime since we are serving such a large population of people, and we also do not want to keep having to activate to rectify bug issues. So of course, we are also looking for proposed solutions with transparent and, let's say, defined all-in price. So if possible, perhaps you can let us know, and then we hope to be able to get something useful, which is cost effective in the long run. Yeah. So that's about all.
Okay, Wilfred, would you like to share about the prize money and all that?
Okay, so, yeah, so the prize money, similar to the other presenters, is 30K for each winner of this challenge, and of course, co-innovate with CASE as well as gain access to IMDA's technology resources and opportunity to commercialize solution for deployment and adoption by the sector members. So like Billy said just now, I think the deadline would be 29 October, 4 p.m. to be exact. Yeah.
That's right. Can submit by 3:59 also can, but yeah, 4
Yeah,
p.m. is the deadline on 29 October. Okay, thank you, Wilfred. And we're going to move on to the Q&A. But in the meantime, I do have one question for you, Wilfred, because I kind of was going through your challenge and it sounded quite similar to what CPF is. It's like a subset of what the CPF is also looking for. But in your case, right, how far would a AI-powered chatbot solve your issues?
Okay, chatbot, actually, we do consider such a software in the case, but I think we are more concerned also at the same time about the data analysis part, that the questions or important topics that are actually raised to us by, let's say, the public or consumers are able to be captured, let's say. So I am not exactly sure if a chatbot per se is it sufficient, but I think we are open to hearing people's all the people's thoughts, let's say.
And you have come to the right platform, because our community of tech solvers, right, they have all sorts of activities. They're able to advise you on all kinds of possibilities for your solution. That's great. Okay, we have a question from the floor from one of our big fans. I think it's Derek Go, and Derek is asking about okay, from the past volume of databases, right, are all the information that you have documented in Excel or written notes, or have been classified and archived properly? So I guess Derek wants to know, what is the state of your back end of data right now?
Okay, we do save roughly about 6 years worth of data. So we are also trying to digitalize similar as a CPF, but we also do have hard copy at this point in time. Oh, by the way, I'd like to introduce my colleagues, Shannon and Juliana. So they will also be around to.
Hi, Shannon, Juliana, welcome to share the load. Welcome. Okay, we're gonna wait for more questions. Hello, welcome. Yeah. It's a very fun afternoon so far. So we've answered a question from Derek, and we have questions coming fast and furious on the floor already. Okay, these are probably people who are members of CASE, I think. Okay, a question from Rachel. Rachel, is CASE currently collecting any data from customers? What are your touch points with customers? Yeah.
We are currently the data that we collect from them, more towards their if they want us to take up their case, then we usually take down their address, we take down their email address, last 3 digits of IC, and some supporting documents. That's basically all.
Okay, so the touch points will be your call center plus email, I'm assuming. Do you
Online.
have a online?
We do have an online portal, so consumers are able to submit their issues online for our officers to take it from there.
Okay, what are walk-ins? You have a service counter that people walk in to complain?
We do have a service counter as well, but temporarily, because of the spike in COVID, so it is temporarily we only taking on complaints through our online portal as of right now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I think the next 2 questions one is from Flo, one's from Anonymous, but there's some quite alike. They want to know about your backend. What is your current IT setup and what is your current CRM, which is I think it's the customer relationship management system. Yeah.
Okay. This one I think I need some help.
So Shannon, just shoot the arrow. Shannon or Juliana?
Okay, so currently our system is the Microsoft Dynamics. So we are actually having this vendor to help us. And of course, with this system actually allows us to capture all the information of the consumers' information and the complaints and the kind of industries that they're complaining against and what's the desired outcome. So all this information will be captured in there, and that's where we will actually follow up the cases. And in the event the case is actually resolved, unresolved, this will be captured in there. So we do have the third-party vendor, which is the IT company, which actually helps us to manage and ensure the system is actually working fine. Yeah.
And this vendor also manages your CRM system, I'm assuming.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
Okay, that's great. So it's outsourced in a sense to an external vendor. Okay, thank you. Okay. Somebody wants to know what. Can you show the judging criteria again? Maybe I can ask my colleague to show the slide with all the judging criteria, what they're looking for. Okay. Yeah, so solution fit, solution readiness, solution advantage, and company profile. And these are very strict criteria with a lot of scoring involved. So yeah, this is a test that you cannot start before. You must have a very good submission to clear this. Okay. Next question from Rachel again. Rachel, thank you. Is the prototype looking at a mobile application? Shannon is answering. Maybe Shannon can answer live. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we are not limiting it to mobile app because in terms of the maintenance and all that, it could also be quite costly to sustain it. So I think we are open to any suggestion on what kind of sustainable solutions that can be offered. That's why you will notice that we are also not just limiting to chatbot, although I think a lot of you will be thinking of chatbot while we are going through half of our presentation. Yeah. So I think let's be creative.
Okay, let's be open to new kinds of ideas rather than just chatbot alone. Okay, thank you. All right, coming up next from Anonymous, and this is, are you looking to have the data stored on the cloud?
I think possible.
Yes.
Okay, it's possible. Okay.
Yes.
As long as it's safe and secure, right? Yeah, it can store on the cloud. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Security is very important to us because we are dealing with publics, some of their personal information as well. So
that's right. Yeah. So the PDPA does apply. Okay. Coming up next from Anonymous as well. It says, if a properly designed chatbot can extract and filter down queries, right? To how much reduction in manpowers? Okay. So I guess this question is a bit complex, but it's saying like, what would you consider a successful chatbot? How much problems does it have to solve to be considered successful? Yeah.
Okay, so what happens is that for our call center, right, roughly it's about 30 to 40% of the questions are actually very general information, which is like whether the case can be, handled by us and how do they lodge the complaint and all this. This definitely will help us in terms of, allowing our call center officers to actually free up their time to handle more important kind of queries. I mean, of course, these are actually important, but somehow this, I believe, can be handled by the chatbot. Yeah, the normal standard queries. But in the event, if there are more difficult questions, etc., so the time can be free up to actually handle that kind of more complex and complicated kind of questions. Okay. So I think about 30% of
30%. Okay, sounds good. Okay, I understand. There's one more question that I think Wilfred has answered already online. So, okay, wow.
Oh, sorry, I think I clicked incorrectly. Microsoft Dynamics. I think the question is
which
what
CRM?
Yeah, which CRM
okay.
are using?
Microsoft Dynamics. Okay, Ken. I'm looking for more questions on the floor. If not, we will just okay, let's just have a 10-second count. If no more questions for Wilfred and his team, right, we're gonna let them off the hook. Okay, Flo is coming in with one question. Thank you, Flo. Okay, do you transfer all calling complaints to any form of data storage for analysis?
Yes. So calls when they come to us, so if it's with regards to a specific issue, usually we will key into our database. And if it's, let's say, a general inquiry like where is your office located, we will save it in a separate Excel file for our tracking purposes.
Okay, thank you, Wilfred. I think that's it. We have more or less cleared all the questions, provided nothing comes in the next 5 seconds. So wait, Anonymous doesn't want to let us go. He wants to ask more questions. Okay, what kind of data analysis and profiling would you most want to extract? And normally, how is it extracted? These are very technical questions. Anyone, Juliana or Shannon or Wilfred?
Okay, what kind of data? I think the data that we like to have is to know, like, for example, the company name, what's the complaints about, what's the issue, common nature, and the industry. So this will actually help us into being able to identify the problem areas of the specific industry or the particular company that consumer is facing difficulties in resolving their dispute. So I think it's good to have the kind of system where it actually helps us to actually retrieve such information. Yeah.
If I may just add on to Juliana's point, I feel that currently we are not doing enough with the data that CASE has. And things are very manual. So whatever information that we are getting from our call centers, right, we are just extracting to our own Excel spreadsheet, which it will not be very fast in order for us to track the trend or to detect what are the changing consumer landscape. So if, let's say, we are able to deploy some sort of data analytics to the information that CASE is receiving, even to the whole universe, in terms of not just CASE information per se, if, let's say, the system is even smart enough to go and look at, for example, mothership information, hardware zone, and help us to populate some of the interesting consumer pain points that they are facing out there, and alert to us that, hey, look, actually, the consumers are facing more information, more problems than what CASE is seeing. Because we also know that consumers are getting more savvy. They may be just going online to rent, but they may not come to CASE because it may be trivial, not worth the effort to come to CASE. But we want to know if there are any unethical practices out there. So if, let's say, the system is smart enough for us to tap onto this particular gap, it would be great.
Okay, thank you, Juliana and Shannon. And also I thank Kenny from CASE. Hi, Kenny. He's going to reply to one question about the database as well in the chat group. So thank you very much. I believe, I think that's about it for our friends from CASE. No, Derek wants to have one question. Okay, Derek, because you're one of our most enthusiastic fans, I'm going to give you this question, okay? So Derek says, CASE, great insight, thank you. Sounds like you would like to segment and data cluster for actionable insights. So do you all agree with his statement? Okay, so they all nod their heads. So Derek, you have a unanimous response from the judges. They love your comment. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, I think, all right, that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I'd like to thank Wilfred, Shannon, Juliana, and of course, Kenny from CASE for presenting your very interesting business challenge. It's very similar to, I believe, the CPF board, and it's something I think a lot of organizations, including government agencies, are looking at. So you guys might be the trailblazers, coming up with new kinds of innovation that we all can adopt to improve the way we interact with the public and the way we understand the public trends and the way we track and monitor and are able to anticipate the new trends that are coming along. So thank you very much, our friends from CASE, for presenting on the challenge. Thank you.
Thanks, Billy.
Thank you. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And this has been the This is the third of our Innovation Thursday for this current innovation call. We are still open on whether we're going to have additional Innovation Thursdays for October. So do look out for information or our publicity on our new, if we have any Innovation Thursday coming up in the month of October. So thank you very much for joining us here today on Innovation Thursday. Once again, I would like to thank all our problem owners for sharing so much and answering all the tough burning questions. Our friends from CPF Board, Windock Singapore, the Smart Local, and of course our friends from the Consumers Association of Singapore, CASE. Thank you very much. And of course, our friend Leon, all the way from China, Leon, CEO of Ground Up AI, for sharing on what it takes to win multiple challenges on OIP. So ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to all your exciting submissions for Innovation Call 11 of OIP. And of course, the deadline is, can I hear the answer? Yes, it's of course Friday, October 2021. 4 p.m. right, as Wilfred shared. So basically, once again, the deadline for all submissions for Innovation Call 11 is 29 October 2021 at 4 p.m. So do visit our IMDA Pixel channels for more information. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Billy from the OIP team. Thank you very much for joining us. We hope you have a great weekend ahead, and we look forward to receiving all your innovative proposals for Innovation Call 11. Thank you, and have a great weekend ahead. Bye-bye now.
Got the tech know-how that leverage data analytics, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, robotics, or other emerging technologies to solve business challenges? We want you. The Open Innovation Platform is back for its 11th call, and we're looking for problem solvers like you to help solve real business challenges that can affect positive change on industries and organizations. To date, we've offered $7.2 million in prize monies, engaged a growing community of over 11,000 solvers, and hosted 218 challenges and 91 projects. Whether it's creating smart connected devices to work seamlessly with the environment or optimizing processes to enhance work productivity, stand to co-innovate with problem owners like SLS Bearings, Singapore Sports Hub, and Japanese company Windock, and watch your ideas come to life. There are 15 challenges and $560,000 in prize monies that are up for grabs in this innovation call. Think you've got what it takes? Join the Open Innovation Platform Call 11 as a problem solver today and explore our challenge briefs. Experience our brand new platform with upcoming new features at www.openinnovation.sg.